All right, man. Fans was complaining about how Ortiz and Ruiz was not worth pay per view. That was boring. Um, let's talk about that and give a little bit of review. And like I said before, I thought this was a good matchup on paper stylistically. I thought Ruiz was going, be the aggressor, and Ortiz was going to counter Ruiz, but it was pretty much reversed. Ortiz is not good at countering, and Ruiz countered and took his time. He said he had to respect Ortiz power because he hit hard as hell. So, you know, so he just chose to counter him. And like I said before, man, that fight wasn't worth pay per view. You keep hearing, how some of Wilder fans is justifying how they're justifying how the Hellenius fight is worth pay per view, and it's not. And the people who buy these pay per views, what I'm saying, or so called quote unquote buy these pay per views and justify most of the time these dudes don't even be buying these pay per views. Trust me, sometimes most of these times these dudes don't be buying these pay per views. And that's just what it is. Ain't no way you could justify that being a pay per view on even on paper, even though it's a good stylistic fight. How can you put that in the same vein as Mike Tyson, and even a faded Evander Holyfield and a faded Mike Tyson, even a faded Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis? You can't put that in the same vein as this. Neither one of these dudes, Andy Ruiz or Luis Ortiz, has been established as a superstar in nowhere in America. And you got to remember that was like a hometown fight for Andy Ruiz last night. Neither one of these dudes is, you know, neither one of these dudes is that guy. Even Deontay Wilder, dude, you got to remember before he fought Tyson Fury, when he fought Luis Ortiz the second time, they was letting people in the fight for free and just say, come in and fill up the seats. Don't forget that. They was letting people come in and say, come in here and fill up the seats. So I expected that fight to be a lot more action packed. Right? But it was a snoozer. Like I said before, you never know what you're gonna get. The undercard was pretty exciting, but the thing about it is they continue to put smaller weight classes on the undercard because it's cheaper. If I'm watching heavyweight class, I want to see other heavyweights on the card. Why not? At least one or two bouts. But they still not putting their money where their mouth is when they come to the undercard. And it was a snoozer last night. Let's just keep it real. It was a snoozer. It was a snoozer. It was a snoozer. You know? So, but it was only a snoozer because they had to reverse the roles, and Ortiz is not a great aggressive fighter. Only when he gets you hurt, then he can get in there and start to turn the tide. But he had a Wilder out on his feet, and he kept following Wilder around the ring. Think about that for a minute. He had an injured Wilder out on his feet, and he couldn't close the show. That don't make no sense. And a lot of things, them Cubans, man, they fought amateurs so they fought amateurs for so long that they just too patient for the pro game. You would think it'd be the other way around where you would think it'd be the other way around where you would think it'd be the other way around where in like 4 amateur rounds and 2-3 minutes that they would be like great front first half fighters. and throw a lot of punches and be aggressive, early on the fight, but they real patient. They just about scoring and not getting hit. And when you've been embedded so long into a system, and some of these dudes be 30 years old when they turn pro, it's hard to kind of change, go to an old dog new tricks when they've been doing it so long. So that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it, man. And you can't, Frank Sanchez, man, he another dude that's gonna be gotta put him in there with the right opponents. But this on paper was a great mesh of styles. It was. It was a great mesh of styles. Or Ruiz like to bang and throw punches, and and Ortiz like the counter punch. But other than that, with Ortiz, I can't just say he got old overnight, but I just say that, the counter punching ability versus Ruiz changed everything. It changed everything. It changed everything. But yeah, it was it wasn't the most fun fight. But then when you ask when people go in their pockets, come to the fight, spend their money or buy the pay-per-view, they gonna want to see. They gonna want to see. You know what I'm saying? They gonna want to see the best of the best. Just being honest, they gonna want to see the best of the best. And if you can't deliver the best of the best, then it's just to the point where why should we even consider digging in our pockets? You have no history of a consistently delivering great pay-per-view fights. Now, Earl Spence and Sean Porter was a great fight. Wilder Ortiz too was a great fight on pay-per-view. The first one wasn't on pay-per-view. Just being honest. Just being honest. But overall, Andy Ruiz, when you got them two early knockdowns, you score another knockdown. Of course, you're gonna be on cruise control. You're gonna be on cruise control. Just being real. You're gonna have it on cruise control. So when he talked about after that fight how hard Luis Ortiz hit, like I said before, a lot of people out there get smacked in the street and they pick up and run, and their first instinct is to run. It's no different getting into the boxing ring. Sometimes that's Floyd Mayweather. Like, he got hit with some good shit, man. Mayweather, everything else tighten up, and he really hone in on hit and don't get hit. And Ortiz Ruiz said if he didn't have that extra weight on, if he came in the same weight versus Chris Arreola, he would have got dropped. You gotta understand, he outweighed Luis Ortiz last night, and he was the younger man. And those injuries that injuries that he sustained, it probably was a blessing where he can recover, because he came in phenomenal shape. He came in phenomenal shape. So that recovery time that he had, it did him well. It did him well. It did him well. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it went to the point where it was the most boringest fight I've seen. Because how can it be the most boringest fight when when we had 3 knockdowns. You had 3 knockdowns. How? So it wasn't the boringest pay-per-view I seen. You know, wasn't it boring, but it is what it is. But it's even on paper, this wasn't one of them fights where we should have had to dig in our pockets. Just being honest. It should have been one of them fights where we had to dig in our pockets, honestly. But Al Heyman keep doing them. He got to be making money some way on these fights. He keep putting this shit on pay-per-view. When Martin fight should have been on pay-per-view, Ruiz fight, Areola should have been on regular TV. The Martin Luis Ortiz should have been on regular TV. So but I don't understand. Seriously. And you have people continuing to justify Luis Ortiz. Justify these pay-per-views. I don't get it. How can we continue to justify these pay-per-views? Like people defending Wilder and Hellenius on pay-per-view. How? 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 You can't. It's not a pay-per-view fight. It's not. And neither was this one. And pretty much it was a glorified homecoming for Andrew Ruiz on pay-per-view. How do you continue to build the Rayo Venezuelas of the world? How do you continue to build the Cobras of the world and some of your young prospects by putting them on Showtime and putting them on pay-per-view undercards that's not selling? You got to understand too, Al Heyman fronted all this money for this fight. Fox is not putting no more money up for PBC. They're not putting no more money up for PBC. Al Heyman is putting all the money up for these pay-per-view fights and paying Fox 10% for the production side of things. Whatever, I think it is 10% is whatever they paying for they paying for the production. So, like I continue to say, this criteria they doing, it don't make no sense. They can continue to fake it till they make it. That's fine, but the truth will come to the light. Let's be real. The truth will come to the light. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. The financial and support the channel, Cash App, $ all that's there. Hit the link tree, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Spotify, the whole 9. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. Peace.